What's good, Facebook and possibly YouTube? I might be posting it there as well. How's it going, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Today is February 7th, 2023. As I continue to document the journey on my vlog. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm excited to get into it. There's lots to talk about. Do me a favor, before we dive in, drop me a comment. Let me know that you were here, even if it's just for a minute. Say hi, hey, hello. If it's your first time watching one of these, let me know what city that you're in, because there's a very good chance that we have other people in your area that we can connect you with and you can start doing life with them. We actually have 86 cities right now, all across the country, even some internationally, that are connected, and some of them are active, and a lot more of them are going to be active soon, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. How's it going, Jessica, Evelyn? All right, so let's dive in. Today I want to talk about depression versus oppression. I actually got myself into a pretty bad funk last week, or I don't say got myself in, but I was in a pretty bad funk last week, and it took me a few days to get out of, and I kind of want to talk about it. I want to dissect it a little bit. And then I also want to talk about going deeper with God, some things that I'm doing, I'm exploring. I also want to talk about this new relationship coach that I'm getting ready to hire that I'm pretty excited about. What's up, Michael Janes? And I want to talk about that hoe versus housewife post that I made. It was actually on my business page, but I want to discuss that a little bit because I got some negative pushback on it, and I want to clarify something. And then lastly, I want to talk about our vision call this Saturday. So if you don't know what that is, we're going to have all of our cities, all these people are invited to this big call where we're going to unveil the vision, what we believe we're building and where we're going, to all these different groups, all these different people, and we're going to show them our process for getting started. So right now we have groups that are active in probably about 12 to 15 cities across the country. We have our 4 official chapters. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is becoming our 5th official chapter, either later this month or next month. We have groups in Tampa and Orlando and Wilmington, Delaware, and a bunch of other places that I can't think of right now. So we're hoping to have a lot more, and eventually we're going to have CityFam chapters in every nook and cranny of the world, because that's the only way to end loneliness, is to have them everywhere. People have to have access to them wherever they're at, and that's what we want to do. Hi, Sky, how are you? Thanks for that comment, by the way. So again, drop me a comment, let me know that you were here, whether you're watching the replay or watching live. Say hi, hey, hello, and let me know what city that you're in. Okay, so and just to finish off on that last piece is Springfield, Illinois. That's our newest addition to our list. We have, of our 86 cities, that's the newest. We actually just added them today. But we have this new zip code formula. What's up, Jim Morganti? We have this new zip code formula by which we're identifying the people that come into our network, and we're able to now, instead of just putting them in one city, if there are other CityFam chapters or clusters of members in their area, they may be part of 3 different groups. So for example, someone mentioned to me on a call the other day, someone like Margie Lee in California, she would be part of Sacramento, San Francisco, and then one other one, because she was in a certain area that she was close enough to all 3. And I said, well, that really kind of makes sense to me, because a lot of people, even in Baltimore, are members of multiple groups. There's people like Michelle and Wendy McLaughlin, who's watching right now, it looks like, and Daphne and Katie Walbert and all these people, Linford, they all drive down to Baltimore, but then sometimes we drive to their events. And that's what's really cool, because now what is going to happen is there's always going to be stuff to do. Every weekend you're going to have a choice of different things to do, different groups of people that you can hang out with, all that you know, all that you love, all that are really committed to putting the other person before themselves on some level, sacrifice, because that really is what CityFam is built on. And that's going to get fun. That's going to get really exciting. And that is how we'll end loneliness. And we're well on our way. So it's really amazing how it's coming together. So that's all I'll say for that. Drop your city and attend the vision call. If you don't know about the vision call, comment the word vision. I'll go back through the comments and I will send you the link for you to join personally, or you can just click on the description. It'll take you to the Facebook event, and there's an Eventbrite link in there where if you register with Eventbrite, you'll get sent the Zoom credentials so you can join us. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we've already got about 60 people registered. I'm hoping to hit 100. So let's see what happens. Okay, say a prayer. All right, so basically, okay, this is what happened. So Thursday I was in the office, and like I normally am during the week, and 6 days a week, 7 days a week, really, because this is where the watch parties are too. And I just got to like middle of the day, and I couldn't push anymore. I couldn't work anymore. And typically I'll kind of like, there's a variety of things I do to snap myself out of that moment, and I just didn't feel like I had it. Like sometimes I'll go to the park, sometimes I'll go to the gym. So I just went home and I just kind of vegged, and it just got progressively worse from that point on, to the point where Friday I went to bed early on Thursday night. I just was like, let me just go to bed, hit the reset button. I woke up Friday morning, I came into the office, and I just couldn't work. I was like really down in the dumps. And then I went home, took a nap again, woke up, came back to the office later that day, tried to work again, felt like, actually I didn't even make it to the office that time. I was in the car and I just turned around. So and that was Friday, and I was just like, couldn't figure out why. I didn't have any strength, I didn't have any energy. And I basically, didn't go to the Renegade. I was supposed to be a judge at Epic's talent show, and I didn't do that. I had to cancel on that last minute. I mean, I just didn't have it in me. It wasn't like I was physically sick, but I was super heavy, depressed, no energy, low. And then Saturday, same thing. I woke up, I came to the office, tried to get work again, and same thing. And I went home and laid down, and then Nicole texted me, and she's like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And she's like, can I call you? And she called me and she prayed for me, and it was like night and day. It's just like it broke off me, whatever it was. I got up and I went to the gym, and I was fine. And I've been listening to this book called Bondage Breaker. So actually, before this happened, Lori West, I don't know if Lori, you're going to see this, but Lori West, who's a CityFam girl, came to our Rise Goals retreat. She's in Virginia Beach. She told me about this couple that does deliverance sessions for demonic oppression. So I'm like, I don't know much about this stuff, right? It sounds a little bit, come on, really? Right? But all I know is this isn't the first time something like this has happened to me, on the verge of us doing something big, where I'll just get into this place, this hole that I can't get out of. I have no energy. I feel heavy. I just feel like no strength. And so basically I had booked a session with these people, and supposedly people can have demonic oppression. Not possession. You can't be possessed as a Christian, but you can be oppressed. Okay, like whatever that means. So they somehow influence your thinking, your habits, negative thought patterns, things like that. So I booked this session for February 16th. I'm going to go visit this couple, and they're going to do this deliverance session to see if there's anything there. But this is the way I reasoned it, right? As I'm listening to this book, because you realize when you listen to the book how prevalent this stuff was in the Bible, in the New Testament. It was all over, right? Like everywhere that Jesus went, he casted out demons. Okay, so we try to pretend like, it's not a thing anymore. Well, why not? When did that go away? Why do we have to put on the full armor of God if they cannot come against us, right? As a Christian, because that's what some Christians believe. So, and the way I reason it is like, if he's not oppressing me, who is he oppressing? Because look at what we're building. Look how important it is what we're building. If the devil or demons aren't oppressing someone like me, well, then they're just not on the job. So I'm like, I want to go get checked out. And the other thing is look, supposedly, like, you can do a lot of this stuff to yourself through things that you do, like things that you sexually, you could have generational curses in your family, things that get passed on to you from, your mother, your father, your grandfather. So I'm eager to get checked out, because all I know is when Nicole prayed for me, it snapped off of me, it broke off of me, and it was like night and day, and I was able to get up, and I tried everything I could for 3 days to get it off me. All my little tips and tricks that I normally do to get myself motivated, and nothing worked. And so I'm pretty excited about it. I'm listening to this book, and it just talks about that there's, a lot of people go through this, a lot of people have this happen, and they don't know. You think like maybe it's just lifestyle patterns or habits, bad habits or things like that. And maybe it is. I think there's definitely stuff to that, right? Like if sanctification is a process. But I know for me, like I've been a Christian for 3 years, and it's been a lot of determination. It's been a lot of willpower. It's been a lot of white knuckling the shit out of it, right? And I've questioned. I'm like, where's the power? Where's it? Because you read it, that there's power, that there's freedom in Christ, and there's this abundant life, right? And it's like, okay, is it just a matter of just resisting it? Like, I don't think so. I feel like there's more to it than that. And that's what the book says. There is more, right? And I feel like I'm really eager to go down this path and figure it out. And I want to be as light as possible. I want to be protected. I know that we're going into enemy territory with the things that we're doing, and I want to make sure we're prayed up and we're protected. And this thing is no harder than it has to be, right? And that's what I'm doing, and I'm pretty excited about it. So February 16th, I'm driving to Suffolk. I'm going to do this session. Then I'm going to go to the Virginia Beach group. We're going to meet up. We're going to go do a social event at night, Thursday the 16th. If you're in Virginia Beach, or you can get there, you can meet us. Actually, just drop a comment and let me know that you want to come on the 16th, and I'll tell you where it's going to be. Lori West is working on a venue. I think we're going to go play music bingo somewhere, which should be super fun. But Willie Williams, I'll go back through these comments in a moment. So anyway, that's the 16th, and so yeah, let's change subjects. Okay, so yeah, and let me before I change the subject, because this is something I want to talk about. I got some notes here. Is like I'm not one to go into this whole like it's the devil. The devil made me do it, right? Or Satan, not today, Satan, or some of this stuff that you hear Christians say, right? I'm not like that. I'm very practical. I mean, for the most part, I look at my life and I'm like, I've lived a life of poverty and abstinence for the last 12 years. I have, right? Some people, I was listening to some Joe Rogan yesterday. This guy was on his podcast and he was talking about how his life is so much better from becoming a Christian and he's happier and all that. And I'm like, look, my life is better from becoming a Christian, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easier. It became a lot harder actually when I became a Christian, because I was, making a lot of money and had a lot of pleasure being a sinner. I had to go a completely different direction. So when I think about, sometimes I get into these funks, I'm like, well, that's it. You haven't had any money or any female companionship, and you've just been working a lot, and no discipline seems pleasant at the time but painful, right? And it's just that, right? You're just tired. For the most part, I've devoted the last 12 years of my life to working on myself and working on my relationship with God. I mean, that's really it. Not in a relationship with a female, not even to making money. And I'm like, so maybe there's that, right? There's that part of me that goes, is it really demonic? Is it really demonic oppression, or is it just, life is hard? And what I say is, like, again, it just, to me, sometimes it seems way too coincidental that it's right on the verge of us doing something big. Like right before I went to LA, the same thing happened. And then now we're about to do this vision call, followed up by an RV tour. And it's like, here we go again. So I'm eager to get it checked out, for sure. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. Yeah. Sorry about that. I lost you there. But it's been really good. Again, I have devoted myself to this relationship with God and working on myself these 12 years. But it's been great because it's allowed me to focus all of my time and energy on Him and really just enlarging our territory. And things are really starting to work at a high level now, which is pretty exciting. So I actually been kind of praying about changing some of those things right now. I feeling like maybe it is time to put some time into a relationship and get married. So actually I booked a call with one of our CityFam coaches, Jarrell Truelove, that's his real name. He was one of our coaches that was with us down in Destin, Florida, and he's a relationship coach, and his tagline was, I help single people get married. So I was like, I'm going to sit in this guy's session, because you could only sit in two coaches' sessions. So I sat in his session, I listened, he had some really good things to say, and I thought, I have business coaches, I have, spiritual mentors, I have I have a branding coach, right? So I'm like, but I don't have a relationship coach. And that is an area of my life that needs some work. Not just my romantic relationships. I really want better relationships with my family. I want better relationships with friends. And I don't have a plan for it, right? So I'm like, I'm going to hire this guy, meeting with him on Thursday. I'm pretty excited about it. I have been kind of praying about like God making sure that I'm ready for this next season, because so if you look at like Jewish tradition, when a man was going to get married, the groom would go away. He'd have his betrothed or whatever. He'd have the girl that he was going to marry already set up, and he would leave and he would go prepare a place for her and him to live, and he would be getting it ready. And actually, the guy's dad would be the one to tell him when he could go get the woman. He would say, okay, now you're ready, go back and get her. But he was all excited. The groom was all excited because he's working, he's preparing his place because he knows he's going to have some hot little thing, and not too long. So he's excited about his work because he's getting ready for him and her and their new life together. And then the father would go and say, okay, now you can go back and get her. All right. And that's kind of like what I've been praying to God, is thinking to myself, like, God, help me be ready, like help me show me what to do, and then tell me when it's time to go find this person or bring her to me. And, I think that that's such a great picture of what it's supposed to be like, versus we kind of get things out of order and we don't prepare anything and we just find somebody and we bring them into our nothingness. And it wasn't directed by God or any father. It was just kind of when we thought we should have it because we didn't really feel like waiting. And it's really out of order, and it creates problems. And this is what leads to, unhappy marriages and divorces. Versus if we did it the God's way, which is not only the who, but it's also the when. And so I'm just really praying a lot about God that He would guide me and tell me when it's time, and then of course who it is. So I'll keep you all posted. The other thing I think I mentioned in my last vlog is that my word for the year is balance. So I'm really trying to do a better job of not just working, but taking care of myself. Like working, not just working, building the vision and kingdom work, but also me, and making sure that I'm healthy and happy and all that. So I've actually started this mastermind group with this guy named Josh Kashadorian. He was a guy I had on my podcast, I think last year or the year before. Really strong believer, guy I respect. And actually I was like, I was scrolling past, I think I was scrolling on Facebook or something, and I saw him, and something said in my mind, I want to be in a mastermind with that guy. So I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, I don't know if this means anything. I don't know if you do this. But I just had this thought pop in my head when I saw your picture, and he just sent me a message back. He was laughing. He's like, dude, you definitely hear from God. He goes, I'm working on this mastermind right now. So anyway, I joined it, and I'm excited because I'm learning some different things about, like my quiet time with God, how to pray differently, some of the practices for getting closer to Him and listening and hearing. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I mean, I definitely, again, feel like there's more to all of this than I know. I feel like sometimes I'm just scratching the surface with it all, and I'm eager to really tap into some of the deeper stuff, I guess. Yeah, and then I got some other ideas too. I want to try not to be just working 6 days a week. Again, maybe devoting some time to relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. I want to start meeting with Lori again regularly on my life coaching. It's something I haven't done in a while. I want to read more. I've been listening to a lot of Audible books, but it's usually while I'm working out. So I want to try to do that and just make sure that I'm more well-rounded in those areas. So I made a post. I don't know if it was last week, but it was you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, and I put ... but God can. And got some negative pushback on it, and I just kind of want to talk a little bit about that. What's up, Alan Balls? So the reason that I made that post in the first place was I had that guy Rich Cooper on my podcast, and he was very, negative. He was very harsh and rough around the edges, and offended a lot of the women in my audience. And he basically said something along the lines of women with a high body count don't have any value, really. That's basically what he was saying. And I made that post about you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but God can, in just like refuting that. And I was really just kind of reminding guys to be willing to leave room in our decision process for the transformative power of God's grace. And I actually, or the transformative power of God in a woman's heart. And I actually stole that line from a guy that's in my network, JP Quixote, and he posted that. He was like saying, this is what Rob is essentially saying. And I'm like, yes, thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I wasn't trying to call a woman a hoe. I was saying, I was just, trying to say, look, don't discount the fact that if a woman has a past, she could still be a good, solid choice at some point with the help of God. It's not like once you're, have a past or a history that you're never any good for anybody. That might be what they're saying. That's not what I'm saying. God can transform anybody. And then some people post it, well, God can turn a hoe into a house husband too. And I'm like, sure, absolutely, that works too. It was just, I only used housewife because that's the popular saying. I was just quoting a popular saying and saying, you can't, but God can. And I just wanted to clarify that a little bit because sometimes I think people take some of the things that I say wrong, and I'm like, out of all the things that you could have taken away from that post, what you took away was you just saw the word hoe and then got offended versus just saying, what was the message that I was trying to communicate behind it, So I wanted to explain that a little bit. And then also, I did want to say, though, that there is, and as much as people don't like to hear it, because they're not going to like to, some people aren't going to like to hear this, there is a difference between men's and women's promiscuity. They're both equally wrong. They're both sin in God's eyes, equally sinful, but they don't play out the same. They affect us differently. And, people always want to push back and just kind of say, well, I don't want a guy that's slept around too. Great. You definitely have that right to say that. But like the one thing that I like to say, the difference is like every woman can be promiscuous. Every woman can in the world. But not every man can, right? And typically, a woman that's promiscuous, it's tied to low self-esteem. There's something going on there. And for men, it's not. It's actually the world tells them that they're worth more if they can go out and sleep with multiple women and not give a commitment. I'm not saying it's right. It's wrong. The world, you don't listen to the world. They'll feed you all kinds of lies. But that's not the same for women. So there is a difference between the two. Both equally wrong, both sin in God's eyes, but they do not affect us the same, And sometimes people don't recognize that. They're like, well, it's disgusting for a man to sleep around. And I'm like, you're right, it is. But it's just not the same, So I don't know. I should probably be quiet because I'm just going to dig my hole deeper. So anyway, I want to mention a couple things that are happening in our world. So right now we have the Vision Call this Saturday. 86 different cities are invited to attend this and more. We probably will have even some of the cities that aren't on the list. We'll have people attending, and we're hoping to get at least 10, 20 different groups started all across the country from this call, if not more than that. We have a great process, 16-week process to go from zero to becoming a CityFam chapter. What Nicole and I are going to do is we are going to get in an RV so right around Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to go out on the road and we're going to visit these groups that hit a certain milestone between our vision call and that date. So it's going to be super fun. We're going to film everything. We're going to post it on social media, and we're going to just put a bunch of gasoline on this fire that we started, and I'm really excited about it. So if anybody actually knows of an RV out there that I can borrow or rent inexpensively, I may want to have a conversation with you. Drop me a private message. I'd love to talk to you. But this Friday we have Night to Shine. So right now we have like 5 or 6 different cities that are participating all on the same day, all with Tim Tebow's Night to Shine Foundation. And we are doing this, basically it's like a prom for people with special needs. So we have, I think, 25 or 30 people just in Baltimore that are volunteering on Friday, but then there's people in Oklahoma City and Houston and Dallas and all these different, Wilmington, I believe, maybe even Harrisburg, I'm not sure. But they're out volunteering on this day, and we're going to be buddies. We're going to attend this prom and just make sure that everything runs smoothly. Some people will be karaoke, some people will be doing pictures and videos, and it's going to be awesome. So look for that. If you want to actually come and volunteer with us, we'd love to have you. Just drop a comment, let us know, and we can send you the link to sign up. But registration ends tomorrow, I believe, for that. Then on the 12th, here in Baltimore, we're having a big Super Bowl party. We're using it as a fundraiser for our new Baltimore chapter coordinator, Lisa Carmine. We're really trying to raise the money to pay her to work full time. So we're going to have all kinds of football food and beer and wine. We're going to have a football block pool where we can have a chance to win up to $500. Have little Super Bowl commercial bingo cards for prizes. All going to be happening on Sunday. You can sign up. Drop a comment if you don't know where that event is, and we'll send that to you as well. So that's Sunday, the 12th in Baltimore. So if you got to be close enough to get here for that. And then on the 14th, we're going to make all the ladies in leadership and the ladies that have volunteered for us at the Ravens games raising money. We're going to all the men, or at least some of the men in CityFam, are going to make the ladies a nice romantic dinner on Valentine's Day. So it should be really fun. Maybe we'll watch a rom-com or a Hallmark movie or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll post pictures about that as well. And then on the 18th, we're having a Dream Team celebration where we're going to get all of our leaders and our Ravens volunteers, male and female, together, and we're going to do a big party. And I just found out today, check this out, that former NFL player Ray Sidnor is his name. You can check him out on Google. Big guy. I met him at the airport. He's going to come in and speak to our Dream Team. He's going to speak to our volunteers. I don't even like to use the word volunteers. He's going to speak to our leaders. And on the 18th, so we're going to have food, we're going to have dinner, we're going to have drinks, we're going to have Ray's going to be here speaking. We're going to do a party. We want to celebrate the people that are sacrificing and making this thing move forward. So if you're out there and you're like, you know what, I've thought about getting involved with CityFam and I just don't know where or don't know how, we want to invite you to this event. So it's going to be the people that have already served in leadership, but even if people are thinking about serving in leadership, we want to have you come out and join us too. So we're going to have multiple opportunities for growing our leadership team, but we're also going to be volunteering at the Orioles games this season. That's something that we haven't done in years. We did do the Ravens games every year, and we've done the Orioles one season. This year we're going to do it again. So we're going to occupy a stand and we're going to raise a bunch of money, and our volunteers will make money also, just like we do at the Ravens game. So if you want to get involved, even if you're thinking about getting involved, come to our Dream Team celebration on the 18th. It's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. here at the CityFam offices, and then we are going to at least some of us are going to drive up to Wilmington because Michelle Aiken, if you're watching this, is having a birthday, and we're going to go to her birthday party on the 18th. So we'll leave out here right at 6 o'clock and drive up there. Should be a super fun night. You're welcome to join us. We got a show with Gable Price and friends at Cult Classic Brewing on April 2nd. He's an up-and-coming Christian artist. He's actually playing Creation Festival later this summer, and we have him at this microbrewery over on the Eastern Shore. I'm super pumped about that. Christian music and micro brews, and what was I trying to say? Craft beer. Christian music and craft beer. That's a good combination. So that's on April 2nd. If you want to come to that, I'm actually going to have a code for $5 off tickets. I think tickets are like $25, so they'll be $20 for CityFam members or anybody that's connected to us. And then we're going to do the Hallelujah Hoedown on July 14th, and I think we're going to have Ashes Remain. That's who we're kind of in talks with right now. I actually had Josh's number, the lead singer from a friend of mine, Jess Boja. He used to be on leadership at Jess's church when he was a pastor. So I called up Josh and I talked to him. Thank you for the people that commented, because y'all are the ones that made me even think of Ashes Remain. So I think that we're going to have them, and we're kind of working on that. But we had 50-some people at Renegade in Baltimore on Friday. It was a big number, big party. We had over 80 people at our Oklahoma City Renegade on Friday. We had events in Dallas and Houston on the same night. So all in all, we had 160 or 70 people at CityFam events just on that one night, or over the weekend, let's say. I think Houston's event was on Saturday, but we're actually doing our New Year's Eve party in Houston also next year. We're going to do Charm City Countdown, but we're going to do an H-Town Countdown. So we're in the process of looking for a venue down there. And yeah, I mean, that's it. The thing is spreading. People are really catching on to what it is, and it's exciting. It's exciting stuff. I did want to mention, I mentioned the RV earlier. If anybody has access to an RV that I can borrow or rent, definitely get at me. But I also want to mention, if anyone has a house, rental property, commercial property, a piece of land, please consider, if you want to get rid of it, and maybe you don't know what to do with it, maybe somebody died and left it to you or whatever, please consider donating it to CityFam, because it's tax deductible, and we have a process by now which we can convert charitable contributions of real estate into cash for our mission. So right now, like, we have the blueprints, we have the plans, God's given us all the downloads. Now it's just a matter of time of doing the damn thing, and it takes time to build it out. And when you don't have when you have limited resources, it's hard because people are working full-time jobs and are trying to do it, but of course, they're busy, so that you only can move so fast. So we're hoping to get a contribution of real estate or two given to us, which would be huge. It would completely change the game for us. So if you do know about something like that, private message me personally, and I would love to jump on a call with you and figure out what that looks like. So that's it. Let me go back through the comments. My battery's about to die here. Hopefully I can go back through before we die. Okay. Fresno, California, Jessica Evelyn. Okay, awesome. I'll add you to the list if you're not already there. Michael Jane said Oklahoma City, killing it out there. Stephanie Presley. Hey, Bonnie Coates. Kimberly Hale. Bonnie said, this happens to me all the time. I think it's way more prevalent than people realize, that this demonic oppression thing is real, and people just deal with it. They just think, well, I just have bad thoughts, or I just have negative thoughts, or I just, I can't get rid of this habit, biting my nails, smoking, drink, whatever the thing is. They're like mentioning things, and I'm like, yes, check. I deal with all that, right? Like, and if maybe it is just sanctification needs to do its work within me, but maybe it's more than that, and that's what I'm eager to look at. So, Laura Diamond, don't get pregnant on Valentine's Day. Willie says, the Lord says you see, but your eyes aren't all the way open yet. I don't know what that means, Willie. Can you explain? Like needing glasses for corrective vision. Me specifically, or is that a verse? Dana Carey Zick. Hey, Dana. Dana is the girl that designed our Friends with Better Benefits tee that y'all saw online. Very talented designer. Reach out to her if y'all have any design needs. It's Dana Carey-Zick, Z-I-C-K, and she can help you out. Allison O'Butch Babcock, Rob Ovenholt, Ev Johnson John. The Lord says you see, but your eyes aren't all the way open yet. Yeah, did you copy and paste that? Melinda Jackson, Sherry Lynn. Alan says, amen. If he can't work it out with you and me, he can work it out with... Oh, if he can work it out with you and me, he can work it out with anyone. Ain't that the truth? Bonnie said, it reminds me of the analogy of the value of the $100 bill. Which was I talking about there? Something about it still has value. Right, yeah, right. You're talking about the value, yeah. It's not inherent value. I don't even think, well, that guy Rich Cooper wasn't a Christian, so he wouldn't be talking about inherent value. He's talking about dating marketplace value. But I'm saying that even in the dating marketplace that, like, don't discount the reformative power, the transformative power of God in someone's life. That's what I'm saying. Which, Bonnie, you and I have had conversations about that. Melissa Rogers, Stephen Sieglin. We live in an upside down world. Faux show. Jake Fisher, what's up, Jake? NTS, so excited to be part of this. NTS, what is NTS? Bonnie said OKC. Gerdine Dallenbert, hey Gerdine. Melissa said happy birthday, Michelle. Laura said, hey Shawty, it's your birthday. 55 Baltimore peeps at Renegade. 55, that's really good. What's up, Lori? Lori says, I'm so excited for you and others who want to get fully free. Yeah, I'm excited too. I want to make this as easy as possible. Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha, Bonnie. All right. Oh, Night to Shine. Got it. NTS. I see. All right, y'all. That's it for today. Invite people to the vision call. If you have people in your area that are like-minded, they might not even know about CityFam yet. Just invite them to the Facebook event, because the more people that we have in each of the particular cities, the better chance we're going to have of people getting excited. They're going to be like, wow, there's 10 of us here, or there's 3 of us here, or 5 of us, whatever. And a leader will hopefully emerge. So invite people to the Facebook event. If you know people in different cities, people that specifically, if they're single believers, send them the Facebook event. Inbox it to them. Say, hey, maybe you're interested in this group I heard about called CityFam. Send them the Facebook link. Let them check it out. And yeah, hopefully, again, we'll start a lot of groups. I do believe that we're going to have these things everywhere before it's all said and done. Talk to you guys later. See ya.